Child labor has been a big problem in developing countries and still continues to trouble us.
Child labor was very common during the Industrial Revolution, and yet many people thought it wasn't a big deal.
Child labor can cause children to not be able to get a great education, and in turn cause them not to find a good job.
It wasn't widely recognized in the Industrial Revolution and caused many children to lead poor and unsatisfying lives.
Children had to work in poor and even dangerous conditions. The equipment they had to use wasn't meant for children their age.
Children often worked longer hours than adults, so that with low pay, because they didn't know how much money to ask for.
At the time, people didn't treat children with proper respect and merely treated them as machines, and they need mats to feed until they can earn money for their families.
But even though the Industrial Revolution was a long time back, child labor still troubles us in the present day.
In Brazil, child labor is still very common, despite their president's effort to reduce it. Children often work 25 hours a week, earning less than £2 a day.
Even though statistics show that child labor has been decreasing, however, most statistics don't show that domestic child labor has been increasing at an alarming rate.
Girls are often victims of such activities, where they are often forced to work in their own homes, where no one can monitor their welfare.
In some efforts to reduce child labor in Brazil, the Brazilian government has passed a law stating that no minor under 16 years of age is allowed to work, but despite this law, people still force children to work.
But even though the government has no visible success yet with this law, they still haven't given up at efforts to reduce child labor.
For example, one of the many efforts that the government has succeeded in doing was to create a scholarship for children whose family are too poor to put their child in school. Child labor may still exist in Brazil, but the government and many other non-profit organizations are trying very hard to reduce child labor. Please contribute to helping reduce child labor.